get the chat rolling. Give me one word that encompasses your biggest goal for 2025. Anybody typing, anybody leaving anything in the chat? What is one word that summarizes your biggest goal for 2025? Okay, I'm looking at the chat. Discipline. Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for sharing. So Elizabeth's one word is discipline. That is very good. Any other person want to share intentionality? I love that. And that goes into everything that, discipline, intentionality goes into like what you need, like all the little bits that you need to make your goal become a reality. Thank you for sharing. So I'll just go directly into what a goal is. I believe every one of us, persistence, I see that as well, consistency. Thank you very much. So what is a goal? Anybody want to share in the chat what a goal is? I know it's on the screen, but maybe we should just go. So what is a goal? A goal is basically something that is clear to you and something that you want to achieve. So for instance, okay, maybe I should also ask this question. What is one goal? I know many of us have mentioned discipline, intentionality, persistency, consistency, accomplishment. What is one example of a goal for 2025? Give me one goal, one thing that you want to focus on for 2025 in the chat. Let's get started. For me, I want to lose weight. Okay, less shopping. I love that. That is actually attainable. Be intentional. Read a full non-fiction book a month. I love that. I love that. Okay. So we have some, just feel free to add more. Just do it. I love that as well. Just feel free to, type an example of your goal in the chat, but I'll keep going. For some of us, we might want to become more financially independent. You want to prioritize your mental health. So for some of us, like me, I want to stay hydrated this year. So you will see me with my big jug of, my big jug of water, for me to stay hydrated. Some people might want to achieve a leadership position, break some bad habits. Most of us have some things that we want to change in the way, in our attitude, in the way that we embrace things. And I'm very thankful for the sessions that Pastor Lumide is currently having in church about attitude. Some of us want career stability. Some of us want to read more books, like Elizabeth said, she wants to read a full non-fiction book a month. Some of us want to practice gratitude more. Some of us want to reach out more to our extended families or friends. You want to build your relationship, right? So how do you achieve that? By achieving that, you can either do that on a short-term basis or on a long-term basis. So another question, and again, I wanted to use the chat. Would you rather go the short goal route, or you like going for longer time, bigger goals? Which one do you prefer? Do you like doing short-term goals, like just give yourself 2 months or 3 months, set the goal and you accomplish it, or you give yourself like both? Okay, good. Some of us might want to do a combination of both. Some people actually prefer to go the short-term route. Just give yourself 3 months, 6 months, and you go for whatever that you want to accomplish. Awesome. All right. But before we deep dive in, right, I want us to think for a moment. And that's why you see on your screen, it says think, right? If you want to be successful in life, you have to make time for thinking. There should be a place in your living room or in your in your bedroom or wherever that is comfortable for you, where you call your thinking thinking space, or whatever you want to call it, thinking time chair, whatever you want to call it, because the Bible says in Proverbs 13 verse 16, it says, wise people think before they act, fools don't, and even brag about their foolishness. For you to be successful in life, for you to be successful at achieving that goal, reading that book, being consistent, being persistent, you have to have some time to yourself, and actually think about what you're trying to do. And, thinking also involves researching, looking for information, assessing the situation, and then you're pulling everything together to make an informed choice, or in this case, set goals with more clarity. All right. So I said thinking. Why do you want to set that goal? Why do you want to set that goal? And I'm going to take us to someone in the Bible who has actually helped me in the way that I set goals and achieve goals, and that is Nehemiah. Nehemiah is a typical example of someone who set a goal, accomplished the goal, and actually, Nehemiah actually accomplished that goal in a lesser time. I think he gave himself months to achieve the goal, but he actually did it within under 52 days. So why do you want to set that goal? What is the motive behind you setting that goal? Do you want to do it to please God, or do you just want to do it? Number one, yeah, you want to do it to please God, or just want to do it to, some people do things to chase clout. Some people do it for their family. Some people do it for themselves. Why are you setting that goal? If you can answer that question, it will go a long way to give you more clarity and help you to, break down the things that you need to do along the way to actually achieve that goal. Like Nehemiah, he set the goal to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. And because he was deeply disturbed, by the report that he heard about the ruins in Jerusalem. His goal was to restore order. His goal was to restore security. His goal was to make sure that the people of Jerusalem are the proper place to worship God again. And then the community was restored back, even after the distress and the exile. Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing that. All right, I was looking at the chat. So some other reasons why you might want to set your goal is because, for me, sometimes I want to see a change. I need a change in the way that I need a change in my finances. I need something to change. So that's one of the reasons why I want to set a goal. For people like Nehemiah, you want to help a certain group of people. You want to help your family. You want to help your children. And we're going to get to that in a moment. So there are so many reasons why people set goals. Again, let's remember that successful people make time for thinking. And it is only fools that do not think before they act. All right, let's keep going. After you've thought about your why, then you have to think about, where am I currently at? Where are you currently at? In security, in IT security, there's something we call the current state and the future state, or desired state. So what is your current state? Where are you currently at? In 2024, like Abby mentioned, goal setting was one of the things that was done last year, at the beginning of last year, and you wrote down some goals. Were you able to accomplish all those goals? If you were not able to accomplish all those goals, then that means those goals that you were not able to accomplish then should be your starting point for 2025. So assess your current state, right? Take stock of what you currently, the situation that you're currently in, the goals that you were unable to accomplish, or even learn from the ones you were able to accomplish last year, and integrate that into your current goals for 2025. To achieve or set new goals, you have to know your current state. What is your current situation like? Are there goals from the previous year that you need to, shove aside, or you need to modify so that, you're able to continue in that goal and accomplish that goal? There's no, I know people, they will always tell us to have a deadline to goals, but I see goals as something that are revolving, always revolving. You can always modify, you can always remove, you can always sharpen, you can always, do whatever you need to do with that goal, as long as that goal is accomplished, okay? All right. So after you know why, after you've known your why you're setting the goal, you know where you're headed, you need to know, you know why you set the goal, and then you know why you set the goal. Another thing you can do is to consider where you're going. Where are you going? For Nehemiah, he knew where he was going to. He was previously in Persia, and he was going to Jerusalem. And he knew the intent of his movement, or the intent of his direction, was because he was going to help the children of Jerusalem and the children of Israel to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. And they were able to do it in under 52 days. So you must know where you're headed. So what is your big picture for 2025? Or better still, what is your big picture for your life? Because when you know your big picture for your life, you know what God wants you to do for your life, you're able to look back and then start breaking those things down, and then do them sequentially. So by January 2026, when you look back in January 2026, what is that thing, or what are those things that you will look back and say, yes, Adeola, you actually did those things. You are able to accomplish those goals, and you're able to give yourself like a pat on the back. So what is your future? What is the big picture for 2025, or what is your big picture for your life? I'm looking at the time. Okay, 28. Excuse me, please. So after you've done all these things, you have to also consider, what are the things that you need? Do you need money? Do you need people? Do you need tools? Nehemiah knew what he wanted. He knew the things that he needed to rebuild the wall. He knew he needed people. He calculated the costs. He knew he needed. So when the king was asking him and was saying in Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 8, the Bible says, "And please," Nehemiah was saying to the king now, he said, "And please give me a letter addressed to Asaph, the manager of the king's forest, instructing him to give me timber." So he was telling the king that the king should give him a letter to the manager of the king's forest, so that that manager can give him timber, because he knew he needed the timber to build beams for the gates of the temple fortress. He knew he needed the timber to also build the city walls, and he knew he needed the timber for a house for himself. So what do you need to achieve your goals this year? Who are the people? What are the tools? How much do you need to start that business? Do you know the amount of money you need to start a business? So successful planning includes careful budgeting. So you have to plan. You have to plan. You have to think about it. You have to count the cost. Even the Bible says that before you start building, you have to sit down and count the cost. Count the cost, the people, the resources, the human resource, the processes that you need to put in place. Do you need someone to help you with childcare? What do you need? You have to actually know those things. You have to know when you need to ask for help, when you need to ask for wisdom, when you need to ask for discernment, when you need to, you need help with time management. Like most of us said, oh, okay, thank you, Abby. So most of us said they need to be more consistent. They need to be more persistent. So that even helps us better, because that shows that you know some of the things that you actually need. So commitment, and above all else, we need faith, because God should be at the center of everything that we're doing, whether we're setting goals for ourselves or we're setting goals for other people, including our children. So how can you get to your destination? My quote here says, you cannot reach your goal or fulfill your life purpose if you're easily distracted. It is not going to work. If you're easily distracted, it is not going to work. So I'm going to break it down. So I have all these things I want to do for quarter 1. So we have 4 quarters in a year: quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. So instead of me breaking it down like that, I just say I want to do 10 things this year. How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? What is my strategy? Do I have any strategy in place? Nehemiah knew that he needed a strategy. So even when the king released him to go to Jerusalem, what he did was he went there. He went to the city gate and he investigated the situation by himself. It was his brother that told him about the situation of the city and the wall, the Jerusalem wall. It was his brother that told him. But when the king released him, to go to Jerusalem to rebuild the wall, he went to that particular location by himself and he assessed the situation. And then after assessing that situation, he formulated a plan before he now called every other person, before he now called the meeting of every other person that will help him. So the Bible says he rode around the entire city 3 times. He saw the situation from all sides, was looking, thinking, strategizing. How am I going to do this? What do I need? How many days will it take us to complete this thing? So it was just thinking, just, strategizing, making plans, So you cannot reach your goal. You cannot reach your destination if you're easily distracted. You have to be laser focused. Focus is very important if you want to achieve your goal, if you want to achieve your aim, if you want to achieve every other thing that we've listed here. You want to achieve discipline, persistent this year. You want to do less shopping. Sarah, we're on the same boat. Do less shopping. We have to be laser focused and we have to know how to get to that goal that we have, set for ourselves. So it might include you doing weekly check-ins with yourself. How did I do this week? Monthly check-ins with yourself. How did I do this month? Quarterly check-in. I think I'm doing good. I think I need to readjust. I think I need to realign. I think I need to re-strategize. I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm doing this. I think I need to move things around. Again, your focus should be on your goal, because when you're focused on your goal and you are not easily distracted, you are able to achieve your set goals. All right, this takes me to unrealistic goals. Plenty. There are plenty, okay? Unrealistic goals. I want you to drop in the chat one unrealistic goal that you've ever made. If you've ever made any unrealistic goal, just type in the chat and let everybody learn from you. If you've ever made any unrealistic goal. All right. So for me, there was a time I actually wanted to learn a new language. I wanted to learn French, and I said, I'm going to give myself 3 months to learn French. How am I going to learn French in 3 months? Something I've not learned. They didn't teach me in elementary school, so there was no way for me to, actually, they taught us in elementary school, but I didn't continue into high school. So most of the things they even taught us in elementary school, it was, just put it in your head and write the exam and that's it, So it was not realistic for me at all to actually work with that goal and accomplish that task of learning the new language in a couple of months. If I had given myself, say, 1 year, say within 1 year, I will learn the language and I'll be able to converse with other people within 1 year, then maybe that makes sense, right? But if you're giving yourself unrealistic situations and unrealistic, or you're saying, I'm going to run a marathon, you don't have any previous experience, you've not even done you don't do regular or daily exercise in the 4 walls of your house. You don't do any core strength exercises, but you're saying you want to run a marathon. That is actually unrealistic. I don't see anybody dropping unrealistic goals, but that is fine. We just keep going. The purpose of this slide is for us to know, to encourage us to know our strengths and our weaknesses. We all have strengths and weaknesses. You know what you're very good at and what, you know, your weaknesses are. And it is also okay to take baby steps to achieving any goal that you're setting out for yourself. It's okay to take baby steps. You don't have to rush it. You don't have to rush the process, okay? This slide just shows us, you know, what makes goals more unrealistic when when it is untimely. You know, some of the time, most of the time, our goals don't align with the timing of our lives. And, you know, it can also coincide with other issues that is, you know, currently going on in our lives. So because those goals don't align with what is going on currently in your life, it won't make sense and it will become unreal. You'll be unable to achieve that goal. The resources, you know, sometimes we don't have the enough resources to pull through. We don't have enough resources to keep going, and then the goal or the whatever we're trying to achieve just, you know, stays at one spot. We're unable to move forward. Some other things can be when you're not that specific, and we're going to get to that in a moment, when you're not that specific as to what you actually want to achieve. Yes, I like the idea when I was asking everybody to drop in the chat what is one word that describes their year, you know, but we're going to get to how to actually set SMART goals, you know, being more specific, being more direct in the way that we set our goals. So I believe most of us know what SMART means, but for those who do not know, the S stands for being specific. You should know the outcome of your goal. What is that thing that you want to accomplish in 2025? What is that thing that you want to accomplish in your life? And what steps do you need to take to achieve this goal? Who is responsible? You are the architect. You are responsible for accomplishing those goals, and you're responsible for making those steps become achievable. M stands for measurable, and you know when you should know when you will have reached your goal. When will you know when you have reached your goal? Setting clear benchmarks. You set clear benchmarks. Like I was saying, you do like weekly check-in, monthly check-in with yourself, quarterly check-in with yourself to track your progress. So those are those benchmarks you have given yourself, and you're saying by the end of Elizabeth said, no, okay, Elizabeth said, read a full non-fiction book a month. So by the end of January, you should have gone back to check and say, how many books have I read this month? Was I able to read 2 books? Was I able to read 1 book? What can I do to make me read 1 book in February? So those are ways to actually measure and make sure that the goal you're setting for yourself, you're able to track it. A stands for achievable. Is the goal reasonable? Is it reasonable to achieve? We talked about unrealistic goals in the previous slides. What skills, what experiences do you need to complete the goal? You know, those are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Why are you still setting this goal? And that is going to the hard part of SMART. Relevant. Will your goal help you in the long run? Will the goal help someone else in the long run? Why are you setting this goal? It goes back to the why question that I asked us previously. Your goal should be motivating. Your goal should not be frustrating. If you have a goal that is frustrating you, go back and realign and readjust that goal and make it to motivate you. So you want to lose weight. For me, there was a time, actually, I still want to lose weight. I'm doing it gradually. I'm not rushing myself. So there was a time I actually, I was overweight, and I was working on eating more healthy food meals. So what I did was, some of the food recommendation that was given to me, I could not work with those. So it was kind of frustrating for me, but I found a way around it to make it more interesting for me. So they tell us to, I don't like eating avocado or eating kale. So one thing I did was I blend it into a smoothie. That is easier for me. So in that case, it's no longer frustrating to me. It has now become something motivating to me. So I'm able to add some other things to it to make it more meaningful to me. So I'm able to continue in that goal that I have set for myself. And the T stands for time bound. You set a time frame for your goal. I like the way Elizabeth, again, I'm going back to Elizabeth's chat. She said, read a full nonfiction book a month. So she already set a start date and an end date. So you have to set both endpoints and checkpoints throughout. Incremental deadlines can also help you to stay on track. Again, I'm going back to Nehemiah. Nehemiah set some deadlines, because if you tell me, yes, I told us that sometimes people will tell us to set deadlines, but the deadline I'm talking about here is if you set a goal for yourself for the next 3 months and you're unable to accomplish it by the third month, right? You are still able to realign and readjust that goal until you actually accomplish that goal. So you don't necessarily have to say, because I didn't achieve this goal by Q1, that's the end of the goal. No. Take that goal and restart. It's like a reset button, like Abby mentioned at the beginning of the call. Reset it. Reset that goal and make sure you complete what you have started. The Bible says the hand of Zerubbabel has laid the foundation of this wall, of this house. His hand also will complete it. So I pray for us this year that everything that we have started or we are about to start, God will help us to complete it. In Jesus' name, amen. So this is an example on the screen. You can see an example of a SMART goal. Here it says specificity, yes, and with dedicate time and resources. So this particular person, actually, you can use me as an example. I want to prioritize my mental health in 2025. So I'm going to dedicate time and resources to prioritize it, engage in self-care practices, engage in more mental mindfulness activities, journaling, and then the way I'm going to measure this goal is I'm going to practice my mindfulness, or you can call it meditation, for 15 minutes daily, and attend my therapy sessions bi-weekly. And then I'm going to take one mental health day off every quarter. Again, as mothers, as parents, you cannot help someone else. You cannot not help your spouse. You cannot help your child or your children if you are not filled, if you don't have enough strength, if you don't have enough mental capacity to help someone else. You have to fill yourself up, So taking off days off at work or taking time off is very, very important. So how am I going to make sure that I'm able to achieve this goal? I'm going to allocate 30 minutes daily. 30 minutes daily for self-care. If it means me just sitting down by myself and not talking and not going on social media and not just sitting there and just resting and just inhaling and exhaling and just breathing, that is enough, So allocating 30 minutes daily for self-care, by adjusting my morning routine, evening routine, and making sure everything is in alignment with my calendar, planning my quarterly mental health days ahead of time. Those are some of the things I would do to make my goal, this particular goal, achievable. How am I going to make it relevant? Make sure that I maintain mental health. I maintain my mental health and make sure that my overall productivity, my ability to perform is top-notch. And then my time-bound statement here is I'm going to integrate all these practices and give myself 6 months. So in the next 6 months, I'm going to go back into this goal and make sure that I was doing those things I said I was going to do. And if I'm unable to do some things, because there are times when, we are humans, and there are times when some goals will not, go as planned. I'm going to go back in and reassess my situation and the impact by the end of June 2025. All right. So this is how I'm going to break it down daily. 15 minutes of meditation, journaling, very, 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 very good to, reflect on the day and express my gratitude to God for everything that He has given me. Weekly engaging in a relaxing activity, like reading, going for a walk, or just, sitting with family, communing with family, bi-weekly attending my therapy sessions, and then quarterly taking a full day off to recharge mentally. For those that are unable to take days off at work, you can use a Saturday to do your mental recharge. All right. So now that we have learned how to set SMART goals for ourselves, now that we've learned how to set SMART goals for ourselves, any questions before we go into setting goals for the kids? Any questions? Okay, in the absence of any question, I'm going to go right in. So in the chat, I want you to put your child age in the chat. So for me, my child is going to be 1 soon. So I'm just going to put 0 to 1. 0 to 1. So I want everybody to put in the chat. So we have 10 and 8, 7, 4, 2. All right. So please put in the chat the age of your child, and then we'll get going. So what is your role? I know most of us, we're already doing most of these things anyway. We're already doing most of these things. We just need maybe a tweak here and there, So most of these things, we're already doing them. So for you to set goals for your children, you have to make sure that you set age-appropriate goals. So, most people see goal setting as a ritual, something that you have to do at the beginning of the year. But I'm saying you can do goal setting any time of the year. It doesn't have to be in January. What is the area of your life that you want to focus on? You want to focus on your health. You want to focus on your finances. You want to focus on your spiritual life. You want to focus on your relationship with your spouse, with your friends. You want to be more social this year. So it doesn't necessarily have to be at the beginning of the year. You can do goal setting any time of the year, as long as you stay true to the goals, as long as you stay true to seeing to making sure that you accomplish those goals. You can start goal setting at any time of the year. Take one area of your life you want to focus on and run with it, okay? So as parents, we have the unique opportunity. God has given us this unique privilege and opportunity to guide our children throughout the process. Most of them by the age of 18, even before 18, they are out of the house. So most of the time, you see, you have about 16, 15 years to help them to lay the foundation for lifelong skills, help them to nurture, nurture the remarkable bonds that you are building with your family. So helping children set goals is not something that we do like a ritual at the beginning of the year. You can do it at any point in time in the year. So introducing them early on to tools, helping them to reach their highest potential. Those are some of the things, the privilege, the unique opportunities that God has given us to guide our children. So as a parent, your approach to goal setting is very, very crucial and instrumental. So I'm going to leave us with 3 important words, and I want us to remember this. If there's any takeaway from this workshop, it should be these 3 things, especially for the children, and I'm going to go right in now. So the first one is to recognize, and I'm going to say this. How do you want to this particular word, resonates with me, because when I've had my nieces, my nephews with me, and it is important to always, because children are different. Children are different, and you have to be able to recognize their individual pace. Some children will get things like if you tell them one time, they get it. Some children might need you to tell them like 3 times. Some might need to tell them 10 times, But you have to recognize that each child is unique. Like we all are unique. God created us differently, uniquely, and beautifully well. Okay? So you have to recognize that each child is different. That is one of the ways you can help your child to, enhance and help them in the way your goal setting with them. You have to recognize that their paces are different and children develop at different rates and paces. And you have to respect and honor that this is the God-given uniqueness that God has given this child. Okay? So the second one is making sure that you're as much as you're trying to help them to set this particular goal, you are incorporating play into, fun into it, and you're making sure that the process is engaging for them and it is enjoyable for them. So the way that you approach goal setting for yourself is different from how you would do it for your child. And we are going to get into the age-appropriate goal setting processes in the next couple of slides. We're almost done. What's the time now? Ooh. All right. Support. That's the third one. You have to make sure that you provide a supportive atmosphere. Your encouragement, always making sure you're encouraging and you're telling them, I believe in your ability. They always look up to us and they are learning a lot from us. You have to support them in the way that, God has given you the ability to. So these 3 words, recognizing individual pace is different, each child development is different, and they learn at different paces, blending learning fun with incorporating play, incorporating enjoyable, engaging processes into how you're helping them to set their goals, and also providing support, celebrating their wins as you go. Yes, you can set goals for babies too. I know nobody has a baby on this call. For me, I have a baby. I set goal for it's funny, but I set goals for her, help her to set goals. Like when she's trying to, she's trying to eat. She's able to eat more solid. So I just put the food in her plate, and I know many of us can resonate with this as well. You just put the food in the plate, and she's able to use her hands to pick and eat and put everything in her mouth. So that is one of the things that you can do for your child if they are still like in the infancy stage. Another thing is like doing tummy times, doing sensory skills, motor skill, making sure that their motor skills are developing well, and engaging in communication with them, not just ooh, ha, ha. Making sure that you're actually conversing with them so that they can learn language from you as well. For toddlers, some of the things you can do is make sure that you encourage them. You encourage them to learn new words. You encourage them to dress themselves. You encourage them with their social skills. Encourage them to be more independent. Encourage them to learn how to, encourage them to play cooperatively with other children. So they are learning social skills as they go. You have to understand that goal setting and experiencing positive results is the goal. They'll be eager to learn more things as you help them to set these goals. For children within, they encourage themselves. Yes, that is very true. They encourage themselves. That is very true. So for young children between 4 and 8, this age, I have dealt with them a couple of times, actually. I have a niece that is within this age range now, and I'm telling you, this is their independent era, like Abby mentioned, boss babe era. This is like their independent cognitive skill development area. So for children in this category, one of the things you can help them to do is help them with help them to set goals for social interactions and personal responsibilities, like helping them to set goals along the lines of reading every night before they sleep, helping them maybe giving them little household chores to do, helping them to learn a physical skill like bike riding, swimming, whatever thing that they want to do. And it's also good to always ask these children because, we are in this era now. Most of these children, they actually know what they want to do. They know what they want to learn. So it's very good to also ask them, what would you like to learn? Involve your child. Involve your child. You can't just say, this is what I need you to do, and that's it. You have to involve them in the goals that you're trying to help them set. You have to ensure that you also use the SMART goal method that we learned previously. Make sure it is specific, keep it clear and simple. I want to read 5 books about animals. That is being specific. I want to read 1 book per week for 5 weeks. Measurable. I want to make sure that, by the end of the school year, I have finished reading 10 books. All right. That is time bound. Excuse me. So another thing that can, help you, another tip that can help with effective goal setting is to make sure that at the end of everything, you're helping them to celebrate the milestones. Helping them to celebrate the milestones as they go, as they are making progress. You're celebrating, you're acknowledging it, and that will fuel their emotions and their joy, and it will help them to keep going. And above all, you have to model it. Again, children learn by seeing. They learn by what they see. They learn by how you act, how you're interacting, how you're actually achieving your own goals. They are also learning. So you have to model goal setting and show them your own progress, show them your goals, talk to them, show them your goals, your progress, demonstrating that there is value in goal setting, and the process for goal setting is achievable. Also, staying flexible. Like I said, you have to teach them that it is okay not to complete this goal now. You are able to complete it next month or in the next couple of months. So be ready to adjust your goals for your child as they grow and as their interest is also changing. So this is just the basic pictorial slide that I put together. Understanding their interests, like I mentioned before, asking them questions like, what would you like to be better at? Is there something new you like to try? Would you want to learn swimming? Do you want to go learn how to ride a bike? Do you want to learn how to be more artistic, improving a habit? Do you want to actually not even want to? They have to keep their rooms clean. That is a good goal. Helping them as they reach their milestones using the SMART framework, like we learned in the previous slides. So, and then breaking those goals down into steps is very important. You just don't say, I want to read 5 books about animals. How do you want to break it down? That goes back to using the SMART goals. So, for instance, if your son says, I want to get better at soccer, what are the steps you're going to take? For me, what I would do is I would say practice passing for 15 minutes every day. You attend soccer practice twice a week. Yes, it's going to take me driving you down there, but those are some of the things that you can do to achieve your goal. All right. Using visual trackers. There are so many things. This is actually an inexpensive way to do things. There are so many. If you actually go on Google, just put in free visual tracker. Go on Google, download if you don't want to buy anything from the store, you can actually go on Google, download a free visual tracker for your child, and just put it somewhere where everyone can see it and see the progress. Create a sticker system, a calendar tracking system, just to make sure that they are making good use of their time and that the progress is being tracked. Okay. Again, don't forget to celebrate their win and offer praises as when due. One important thing, actually two, when you're setting goals for your child, make sure that you're doing it in a collaborative way. So it's more fun for them and they're actually more engaging, and it's a time to bond with them as well. Also remember that you have to encourage them, encourage reflection. At the end of the goal period, what have you learned? What was the hardest part from the goal? What is your lesson? What is the takeaway? How can it be better the next time? So those are some of the reflection questions that you can ask them. For teenagers, and I'm going to marry this together with preteens between 10 to 12 years. For them, you have to work with them. There's no two way about it. You have to tap into their aspirations, asking them questions, open-ended questions. What's something you want to achieve this year? You're treating them more like an adult, but not like an adult, if that makes sense. Asking them open-ended questions, the skills they want to learn or improve on, what they would like to grow, what they want to challenge themselves with. Some of them I say, oh, I got a C in my math grade last month or last semester. I want to get a B this semester. So, those are some of the things that you can help them to do. You have to tap into what they want to do, tap into their aspirations, help them to set SMART goals. I'm moving fast now because of time. Help them to set SMART goals. We've learned this in the previous slide. So, and again, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me or just put it in the chat or reach out to me at the end of the workshop. I'll be happy to help. Another thing you can help your teens to do is to focus on independence and responsibility, giving them the autonomy. They thrive on autonomy, encourage them to foster responsibility, help them with their saving skills, help them to develop their saving skills by helping them to set life skills like save $100 from allowance or a part-time job. I want to learn how to cook 5 meals by the end of the month. I want to be better at the time I want to be better with the amount of time I use on the computer, on social media, limiting it to like 2 hours a week or 2 hours a month. Not a month is far reaching. 2 hours a day, just helping them with time management, life skills. Those are some of the things that we can help them to do and set their goals. Encouraging them long-term thinking, encouraging their long-term thinking. This is very, very crucial for those who are ready to go into college, helping them with career mapping, career prep, researching colleges, attending career fairs, helping them with skill building. Do they want to, if they're trying to go into cybersecurity, I'm using that as an example because that's my field, helping them with the certification. There are certain certifications that they can get while they are still in college, helping them to create portfolios for those that like the creative arts. Those are ways to help your preteen or teens. All right. Incorporating social, spiritual, and emotional growth, helping them to set goals along these lines, helping them to speak up in class, helping them to set goals around joining a club or team in church, helping them to make setting goals around making good and godly friends, practicing journaling, and helping them to manage stress. Those are some of the examples that goes with that particular tip. So I married those 3 points together, breaking goals into steps. We mentioned that with the younger children is the same approach, using productivity tools. This is very, very good. You can use, because they are more grown, they can use tools to track their progress. They can use apps. There are so many apps out now, planners, trackers, Google Calendar, Google Tasks, Pomodoro, Evernote. There are so many tools out there in this digital age that free things and things can use. Even adults, I mean, we can all use these tools to be more productive with our goals and tracking and accomplishing these goals. Okay. Another thing we can help them to do is with setting academic goals. I think I mentioned that previously, helping them with their health and fitness goals, helping them to say, oh, this week, every week you're gonna do a 30-minute workout together for the next 3 months, helping them to learning how to cook healthy meals independently, helping them with personal developmental goals like volunteering, 10 hours at a local shelter, reading books, and so on and so forth. Again, this is setbacks, is one of the things that happens to us in life and people don't want to embrace. But if you see setback can actually be a way to learn and a way to take opportunity and go for it. So with goals, what is one obstacle that you have, encountered in the past? I don't know if we still have more time. Would anyone want to share what is one obstacle you've encountered in the past while you're trying to reach a goal? I shared my own with weight loss. Any other person want to share any obstacles or any setbacks on their way to achieving their goal in 2024? Is there anyone that want to share? Okay, I'll keep going then. No one wants to share. All right. So I'm going to go back to Nehemiah. So when in Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 7, Nehemiah, when he was talking to the king, he was asking, he said, I also said to the king, if it please the king, let me have letters addressed to the governors of the province west of the Euphrates River, instructing them to let me travel safely through their territories on my way to Judah. So on his way to Jerusalem, there was most likely going to be harm, right? So he anticipated some problems along the way. He anticipated that most likely those people will not let him pass through, and he needed to pass through in order to get to Jerusalem, so that I can rebuild the wall and accomplish that goal. So to accomplish great goals, we need to ask ourselves, what could hold me back? What is that thing that could hold me back? Yes, I'm trying to lose weight, but what is one thing that can hold me back? I love to eat chocolate. What is one thing that can hold me back? I love to buy clothes. I love red dresses. I love to buy shoes. What is one thing that could hold me back? Once you're able to nail this down, I'm telling you, you're one way closer, one step closer to achieving your goal. So you have to be able to understand and ask yourself, what could hold me back? A prudent person foresees danger and takes precaution. If you're a prudent person, you consider the risks and take mitigation actions to remediate or reduce that risk. So it is okay it is okay if things go off tangent. You don't have to beat yourself up. Like I said before, if you set a goal for yourself for the first 6 months of this year and you see yourself going off track, it is okay if things go off track. But it is better when you know that things have gone off track to come back and realign yourself. Don't beat yourself up and say, oh, this thing has gone, this goal I don't think I can ever achieve this goal again. No, don't beat yourself up. There's always a way to make it work. You don't have to kill yourself and say, I'm not going to pursue this goal anymore. I don't know, maybe there's someone listening to me right now, you feel like, oh, I'm not going to accomplish that goal. I'm not going to go after that again. I'm not going to complete that project anymore. But I want you to know that it is okay if things go wrong, because God is in the midst of everything. Don't forget what we said at the beginning, that God should be at the center of everything, because when he's at the center of everything, when things go wrong, he's able to make all things work together. The Bible says in Romans 8:28 that he's able to make all things to work together for your good. Okay? So unexpected events are a reality of life, and it is okay if you need to make adjustment. It is okay if you need to make a realignment of your goals. It is okay to check in with yourself and, ask yourself if the parameters you're working with are no longer working. It is okay. It is okay to readjust. It is okay to know those obstacles and, find those solutions around those obstacles. This slide says managing goals can give returns in all areas of personal life. It's just a pointer to what I previously said. There's a way to go, there's a way to manage the goals, there's a way to go about even goals that look like they are unreachable and unattainable. There's still something you can do about it. And like I said, Romans 8:28, all things work together for your good, and you are able to accomplish any goal that you have set your mind to do. All right. For resources, sometimes, like I said before, the only thing that you might need might be asking for help. You might need to be, if you're someone that doesn't like asking for help, maybe that is the thing that you actually need in order to achieve that goal. You need to ask for help. Nehemiah asked for help. So he rallied around for support after he had gone out to check the land, and he saw everything was in waste and in ruins. What he did was he rallied around for support from the king of Persia. He asked for help. He told him to give him timber. Even the people that are going to be working on the wall, it was a way of him asking for help. So you have to always ask for help. Don't feel like you can do it alone. There are things that you can do by yourself, and there are things that you need other people to help you to accomplish. So don't be scared to ask for help. If they say no, there will always be someone that will say yes. And if everybody says no, just know that God is up to something bigger, and he will help you to accomplish that goal if it is in line with his will. Okay. So these are some examples of productivity tools for mommies. I said mommies, for moms, okay? So I don't know if you're familiar with any of these tools. Let me know in the chat if you've used any of these tools. I've used Fitbit before. Google, yes, I love Google a lot. I use Google, Notion, you can use Notion to take web apps, even the notepad on your Android phone, or I don't know what they call it on Apple. Those are productivity tools that you can use. Intuit Mint, this one is if you're trying to do Apple Watch. Yes, that's another one. Oh, Apple, okay. Intuit Mint is for budgeting. If you one of your goals this year is to be more financially independent, I would say go that route. Download the app. It means this is not sponsored, though. This is not sponsored. I'm just so you can use Intuit Mint for budgeting, tracking, bill reminders, checking your credit score, monitoring it. Google Calendar, very, very helpful. Google Notes, for event reminders, notification, Mealime for meal planning. If you're someone that likes to meal plan, you can use that for meal planning. Fitbit for activity, sleep tracking, goal setting. If one of your goals this year is to be more healthy and staying fit, that is one application or app that productivity tool that you can use. Okay. Last activity for tonight. And maybe it can be like a take-home activity because of the time is fast spent. On the screen here, you can see a ladder, right? So I want you to take this activity and run with it. So I want you, I don't know if you have a journal or a notebook beside you, or even you want to use your iPad, just draw a ladder, right? Draw a ladder. And once you've done that ladder, I want you to write an explanation of your goal at the top of the ladder. Write an explanation of your goal, the goal you want to accomplish in 2025. Or maybe it's your life goal. Write it at the top of the ladder. And then you see all those lines, all those steps. right? Write against each of these steps the action you want to take. Write the potential barriers against that action that you want to take. And then write the resources. What are those things that you need to accomplish that bigger goal at the top of the ladder? Okay. If you need help, talking about it, you can always reach out to me once you're done drafting out your goal ladder. And then, I'll be happy to help you discuss it, or, just talk about it in general. And that's pretty much it for tonight. Thank you everyone for listening and engaging in the chat. Thank you, Abby, for extending this invitation to me to come share about goal setting for a successful life. It's time for Q&A. Any questions that you have? I'm here to answer any questions, and I'll be good. Before I go, I'm actually planning a realignment retreat for women in March of 2025. So if you're interested in being a part of this, please reach out to Abby, and Abby will, give me your details, or you can actually register on my website as well, adeolaefunwaye.com. The details are on there. And then I actually think I should do a giveaway. Is it okay to do a giveaway, Abby?
Needed to come off mute. Yes, please do.
Yes, let's do one giveaway. So I want someone to, what question should I ask? All right. So when we're doing the parents goal setting with the children, there were 3 words that I actually mentioned. Anyone that remembers will get either the 90-day productivity journal. This one is just to quick start your productivity for 2025, or a 1-year productivity journal. All these are journals that I created. It's available on Amazon if you want to get it on Amazon. But for this particular session, for anyone that gets the answer, Abby, I don't know, we can look into the chat and see if anyone answers the question. We'll give the person the productivity tool.
Awesome. Let's give them a minute to do that.
And I'm just, hailing you and cheering you on that it's time to reach your goals. Do not stay silent. Do not stay seated in one spot. 2025 is here. It's another opportunity to align our goals with what God wants us to do. And it is reachable and attainable. Yes, Abby, you got it. All right. All right, I'm leaving with this conclusion. Proverbs 3 verse 5 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. So like Nehemiah is planning, we can learn a whole lot from Nehemiah's planning. He was a man that was diligent and consistent, and, within 52 days, they actually built the wall, and the wall is still standing as we speak. So I just want us to remember that when we trust God with our plans, when we trust God with the goals and the things we're trying to accomplish, He's able to help us. He will make every path before us straight. Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That was just an amazing session. I just want to say a big, big, big thank you for all the amazing gems that you've shared. I took notes. My page is full. I'm definitely looking forward to going back on the YouTube page to watch this over again and just take more notes and put these into action. I took a few notes here, and rather than regurgitating everything that you've gone over tonight, please, moms, share our YouTube link with this is live, so all the information that's been shared is available for rewatch on YouTube. So please feel free to go back and listen to it. Feel free to go back and also share it with others so that we can be a blessing to as many moms as much as possible. And I love how you started with goal setting, the goal setting path for moms, because you can't give what you don't have. So being able to set goals for ourselves, set achievable goals for ourselves, prepares us to be able to be in a good place to help our children set goals as well. So thank you so much for being a blessing to us tonight. If anyone is interested in a copy of the PowerPoint that was shared tonight, please reach out to me. I can always make sure that you get that. Sister Diola, you can provide that to me, right? So I can make it available to everyone.
Yes, that's fine.
All right, awesome. So if anyone is interested, please ping me and I can make that available to you. But yeah, just I've been so blessed tonight. So much has been said. I'll let us just go back and resonate, let it resonate with us. We will not be having our usual prayer tonight because we've shared so much good information tonight. So again, as always, we will be back next month, every third Thursday of the month at 8 o'clock to 9 p.m. Eastern. We also would usually have a prayer session at 9:30, from 9 to 9:30 every month. So we're looking forward to having you bookmark, speak to your seed so that you can continue to be a blessing to us and we can continue to be a blessing to you. God bless everyone. Have a wonderful night.